We're at the EBACE 2014, and we know that private aviation is something that's reserved for some happy few. But what are customers really looking into? Well, mainly time optimization. We also found a connected watch here, and we want to know what has become of mechanical watches that used to be found into cockpits. So before in aircraft, there used to be mechanical watches, and those were pretty important, but those have disappeared. What have they been replaced with?
What we have in the airplanes now is essentially a three-dimensional GPS. So once the GPS are all aligned, the airplane knows where it is in 3 dimensions, but also knows what time it is.
How important is the notion of time during a flight?
Well, it's important, of course, because not least of which, especially here in Geneva, you have quite restrictive slot times in and out of airports. So it's very important you know what time you can land and what time you can take off. So it's very important to know what time it is in the airplane. And of course, our GPS time is all displayed to us, not mechanically anymore, but it's just displayed on the screens digitally.
You know, people do not realize in general that in the world you have about 17,000 private jets or corporate jets, you know. You can access airports which are not even on the map for airlines. In the US in particular, the airline which has a very good network, they serve 500 airports. A Falcon can go into 5,000 airports. So that makes your life even easier and even more time machine.
Our aircraft are time machines, and people buy our airplanes to be more productive and efficient in their traveling. When you think about flying on a commercial aircraft, you know, you adjust your time to meet the schedule of the airlines. But when you have your own private aircraft, the aircraft adjusts its schedule to meet your schedule. So you can go when you want, much more flexibility. You're flying directly point to point, so you're not doing the connecting flights, and you can just get so much more done. And time is just so valuable for our customers today that these machines are invaluable. You can stay as connected as you want to be. There's satellite communications, so you can call back to your office or home. There's Wi-Fi connectivity inside the aircraft. You can get access to your email or access to the internet. And as a matter of fact, you can actually be more productive in your airplane than you are in your office because you don't have people coming in and asking you questions all the time. So it is truly a great way to improve your productivity as well as in reducing the amount of time you're flying.
So for navigation, for communication, we are really at the edge of technology.
So what about the turbine-driven watch? Could be interesting, I think. So we've seen that private aviation, it was one way of saving time, but you seem to be taking this a little bit further, aren't you?
Well, you know, this is the whole concept of private aviation, and you know, we've seen the success of other companies that are here at the show. I don't have to name names, where you know, they're going, say, 0.2 of a Mach faster and achieving great sales success. So if you can imagine, if you can sell more airplanes by going 0.2 of a Mach faster, if you can go supersonic, if you can go Mach 1.6, there's going to be tremendous appeal in that, and that's exactly what we find from the prospects for this airplane. Speed is very important. It's very important to everybody in this hall, and the consensus view is that it's going to happen. It's just a question of when. We want to make it happen as soon as possible.
So we've been talking about time and how people manage this time, but we've also found a watch here at the EBACE. This is a smartwatch. So what is the main functionality of this watch?
What's really exciting about the D2 Pilot Watch is that it's the first GPS-enabled watch designed specifically for pilots. It actually maintains a worldwide navigation database, so pilots around the world can navigate to any airport via the watch itself.
Could you give us an example of how a pilot has used this watch?
Sure. One use case example that I've heard about actually is a pilot actually had some engine trouble, and he used the nearest function on D2 to actually he pressed and held the nearest button and went direct to the nearest airport and landed, and he was just fine. So it was a really neat example for us to hear about.
See, another time that a watch can save a life. Beautiful, isn't it? What I have beside me is the Pratt & Whitney PT6 engine. This is the workhorse engine of the aviation industry. It has equipped so many different aircrafts since many, many years. It's the equivalent of the ETA 2892 movement that we've also been seeing for many, many years, that has equipped so many different watches. So this is it for our coverage of this edition of EBACE. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and see you next time in our new video report. See you!